Have you ever stopped for a moment and really thought about the air you breathe every day? Not just noticing it, but actually questioning whether it is still as clean and safe as it used to be. The truth is, most of us don't. We are busy, we have routines, and as long as nothing feels immediately wrong, we assume everything is fine. But the reality is very different. The environment is not collapsing in a dramatic, sudden way like in movies. It is happening slowly, quietly, and right in front of us. What makes it even more serious is that the main cause is not something distant or uncontrollable. It is the result of everyday human behavior. Let's start with something simple. Think about how often you use plastic in a single day. A bottle of water, food packaging, plastic bags, delivery containers. These items are designed for convenience. You use them for a few minutes, maybe an hour at most, but after that, they don't just disappear. Many of them stay in the environment for hundreds of years. Now imagine this not as one person's habit, but as millions of people doing the same thing every single day. That is how small actions turn into a global problem. Plastic waste ends up in rivers, oceans, and even in the food chain. Scientists have already found microplastics in drinking water and in human bodies. This is no longer a distant issue, it is already part of our lives. Another major factor is how we consume. Modern life encourages us to buy more, use more, and replace things quickly. Fast fashion, cheap products, constant upgrades, all of these create a cycle of waste. Products are made quickly, used briefly, and thrown away just as fast. This puts enormous pressure on natural resources and increases pollution at every stage, from production to disposal. At the same time, industrial activities and transportation release large amounts of pollution into the air. This contributes to climate change, which is not just a scientific concept anymore. We can see its effects clearly. Hotter temperatures, longer heat waves, unpredictable weather, stronger storms, and more frequent flooding. Some people still think of these changes as natural or temporary, but the data shows a clear pattern. The planet is warming, and human activity is the main reason. This is not about opinion, it is about measurable, observable changes happening over time. However, there is an important point that often gets misunderstood. Many people believe that only governments or large corporations can solve environmental problems. While it is true that they play a huge role, individual behavior is also a key part of the system. Companies produce what people buy. If demand changes, production changes. This means that everyday decisions, what you buy, how you use things, and how you dispose of them, actually matter more than you might think. That said, this is not about being perfect or completely changing your lifestyle overnight. Extreme solutions are often unrealistic and hard to maintain. What matters more is consistency in small, practical actions. For example, using a reusable water bottle instead of buying plastic ones regularly can significantly reduce waste over time. Choosing to bring your own bag when shopping helps cut down plastic usage. Reducing how often you order takeaway food can lower the amount of packaging you throw away. Even something as simple as thinking twice before buying a new item can make a difference. These actions may seem small, but when multiplied across thousands or millions of people, they create real impact. The problem itself was created by collective behavior, so the solution must also come from collective change. It's also important to be honest about something. Living in a more environmentally responsible way is not always convenient. It can take more effort, more time, and sometimes even more money. That's one of the main reasons why many people don't stick with it. But if we look at the bigger picture, the cost of doing nothing is much higher. Environmental damage affects health, food supply, water resources, and overall quality of life. In the long term, everyone pays the price, whether directly or indirectly. So the real question is not whether the environment is important. We already know it is. The real question is whether we are willing to adjust our habits, even slightly, to reduce the damage we are causing. No one is asking you to save the entire planet on your own. That's unrealistic. But you can choose not to make the situation worse. You can be more aware, more intentional, and more responsible in your daily life. Because in the end, the environment is not something separate from us. It is the system that supports our existence. And if that system continues to break down, the consequences will not stay out there. They will come back to us. So before you move on from this video, take a moment and ask yourself one simple question. In your daily life, are you part of the problem or are you starting to become part of the solution?